Hey guys, welcome back to BGN. How are y'all doing? I am the Bearded One, and today we're going to be continuing our special live action videos for BGN's 4th anniversary week. If you're not aware of what we're doing this week, basically BGN is celebrating its 4th anniversary on YouTube this coming Saturday, August 13th. And so all this week we're posting a bunch of special celebratory videos to celebrate BGN's 4th anniversary. Now, we've already done a tour of our gaming room, but today is going to be something a little different. We're going to do another room tour, but today I'm going to give you guys an updated room tour of my room. I haven't done one of these since the summer of 2013, and a lot has happened in the last 3 years. As you can see, I'm in a completely different house now, completely different room. It's set up completely different with a whole bunch of new crap in it. And I just want to show you guys to celebrate BGN, so here we go. Alright, so we walk down the hallway towards my room right here, and we're just going to step in here and start from the door and go clockwise all the way back. So, as you can see, right here's the door where I come in. Right here on this wall, you can see I have a bunch of pictures. I like to call this my narcissism wall, because for some reason I have a bunch of framed pictures of just me or something involving me. As you can see right here, this framed picture of me is actually a digital painting done by one of my friends, Leanne. She did a beautiful job on that. It's probably my favorite picture of me, so that's why I decided to frame it. Over here I have a framed picture of a drawing of me of that same photo that my friend Z did. She's one of my best friends. I've known her for years, and she did a really great job on that drawing, and she gave it to me, so I decided to frame it. Over here, this third frame, as you can see, this is like a cartoon caricature of me, Joe, and Riley from back in our high school days. You can see right there, Walkerville, 2009 to 2013. That's where I went to high school. That's where I met these guys. And Riley actually made this. He was the one who designed this, and he gave each of us a copy of it for Christmas one year. So he gave me the picture in the frame, so I decided to hang it up. Over on this side, we have an award that I got back in grade school from my grade school graduation. I got the Geography Award. They did fuck up my last name, but it is a cool award plaque, so I decided to hang it up. And over here, you can see I still have the cap from my high school graduation that I decided to hang up because there was just a random nail on the wall there. So I just decided to hang it there. Over here, you can see my nightstand. Right there, we have a SpongeBob alarm clock, which I've had for many, many years. A glass of water from last night. I usually take a glass of water or something to drink with me to bed. Here we have a bunch of remotes. That one's for my TV, that one's for my cable box, and that one's for my DVD player. Right there you can see my iPod. I always keep it out in case I want to listen to music while I'm in bed. And then over here, we got a couple glasses case from my 2 pairs of glasses and a iPod dock stereo, which I use from time to time. Now, I would show you guys in here, but as you can see, it's kind of a fucking mess. There's kind of stuff all over the place. We got Apple boxes back here for my iPhone and iPod. We got cue cards, iPhone cases, a bunch of fucking receipts. I keep all of my receipts in this drawer just so I know where they are. We got a spare 360 hard drive back there. We got my old wallet, which I don't use anymore. Some packs of gum. There's just a bunch of random shit in here. Obviously, it's a mess. Like, I have a fucking 5-pack of Speed Stick deodorant, which my mom got me. I had no idea where else to put it but in here. There's really nothing under there. This is the carrying case for the camera I'm currently recording with, and the one I use to record all of our live action stuff. And then we have a couple mini USB to USB cables. One of them is for our Blue Yeti mic, which you'll see in a second, and the other one came with our extra PS3 controller, which we use to connect it to a computer. We use this cable to connect our PS3 controllers to our laptops if we ever want to play on PC. Down here on the bottom drawer is also a bunch of random shit. Like, I don't even know what's in here. There's more receipts, there's newspapers, there's banking folders, there's SpongeBob Uno, there's some guitar chords from when I used to play guitar. Just a bunch of assorted shit down there. Up on this wall, you can see I have a canvas here from an art piece that I did back in high school. I believe I did this in my senior year of high school. It was supposed to be a self-portrait, and I'm not going to take the time to explain why it's a self-portrait of me. I know the meme behind it. I don't really have time to explain it here. Maybe I will in a separate video, but yeah, as you can see, it's a guitar in a warehouse with a bunch of crates. It's completely made out of charcoal, which was the cool thing. Over there is the window peeking out into my backyard, and right here is my bed. Just a single bed, you know. Being a single guy who lives at home, you don't really need anything all too elaborate or huge, so this suits me just fine. I've had this bed for many years. As you can see, the wall my bed is up against is pretty bare, other than over here. I have another canvas of another art piece I did, again, in my senior year of high school. I believe in the same class I did this one. As you can see, a classic depiction of good versus evil in my over-the-top cartoony style, which I love to do. That's an actual painting. Unlike that one that was made out of charcoal, that's an actual painting. In this corner, nothing too special here. Just got some dirty clothes in the corner, and then a laundry basket of clean clothes I keep here. There's a bunch of cables over there, which is where everything over here gets powered. In the very corner over there, you can see a lamp, which I use from time to time. Up above, you can see a canvas of Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I picked up at a Target when Target went out of business here in Canada. I'm pretty sure that Target isn't in Canada anymore, which is a shame because Target was pretty cool. And then here's my dresser, where I keep all of my clothes when they're not in that basket. I actually very rarely put my clean clothes in the dresser because I usually wear the same stuff every week, so I just keep the basket down there so I can just easily get to it instead of having to rummage through all the drawers. And then over here, we have my TV. It's a 24-inch Insignia LCD TV, 720p. For my room, this is the perfect TV because I don't really watch TV or play games in my room. So this is just something that can help me pass the time, or if I'm bored, someone else is using the big TV for like Netflix or something, I want to come in here and watch a movie or a TV show or something, this is the perfect thing for it. It's standing on top of my old DVD player, a Pioneer DVD player, which I don't really use anymore just because I've transitioned into Blu-rays. If I ever have the means to, I would probably get like a small Blu-ray player to put in here. And this is one of the cooler things that I have here. This is a set of miniature Dragon Balls, which I just recently got from my birthday this past year. Bones was actually the one who picked this up for me. She said she found this online. It was relatively cheap. I think it was only like 30 bucks. Clearly, as you can see, it's imported from Japan. As you can see, all the Japanese text on it and everything. But this is really cool. I'm really glad that I have this. If you guys aren't aware, I am a huge DBZ fan, and Bones was clearly aware of this. So she decided to get me a set of mini Dragon Balls, which is really cool. Behind the box of Dragon Balls, we have my TiVo, which I use for this TV to watch television or use Netflix on this TV. It's very convenient. And then back behind the TV, because I had nowhere else to put it, we have an Energizer charging station for PlayStation 3 controllers. As you can see, it can hold up to 2 controllers here. This is where I never use the USB cables to charge the PS3 controllers. If a controller's dying, since I have 2, I just switch to the other one, and then the one that is dying, I bring it in here and plug it in here, and then a couple hours later it's charged. It's a very nice system. In this corner next to the dresser, you can see my tripod, which I use to house the camera, which I use for live action recording. Just a trash can there full of trash. However, the can itself does have a little bit of a story behind it. As you can see, it's like a Simpsons winter can. I got that in Christmas back in 2004. And I think I've told this a couple different times on the show or on the channel. But this can, when I got it for Christmas, housed 3 jumbo bags of Doritos. And the can was so cool I didn't want to get rid of it, so I just kept it and used it as a garbage can. And then next to that here, and I can pull this out here, you can see this is a Spider-Man onesie, which my now ex-girlfriend got for me. I don't really wear it anymore. If there's ever a situation where I can, I will, but it just kind of sits here now. Now we get to the side of the room where all the cool shit is. Basically, the left side, kind of boring. The right side is where the party's at. So, we're gonna start over here on this wall. As you can see up here, I have more framed artworks that I have done over the years. I have a drawing over here, which I did back in 2010. As you can see, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, I did this when Sonic 4 was just coming out. And I liked it so much and I thought I did a really good job on it, so I kept it and I colored it in. and I decided to frame it. Up here, this one is really interesting actually. This is the concept drawing that I drew for that piece over there. This was the original concept that I had come up with, and then obviously a few things changed in the final product. But yeah, this was the original idea I had for that art piece, so I decided to keep the concept drawing colored in and then frame it. Over on the right side here, this is actually one of the first prints I ever did. Back when I was in high school, we used to do a few printmaking projects where we used sheets of plexiglass and used needles to etch the drawing into the glass, coat it in ink, and then plaster it on a piece of paper. And that was the first one I did. This was actually a redone piece that I did back in my grade 9 or grade 10 year of high school. As you can see, heavy metal, rock on. And I redid that for my grade 12 art class with the whole printmaking process, and then I used watercolors to add the color to it. The same thing could be said for this one. I remember back in grade 12, my senior year art class, we had a project where we had to design our own book cover. And the teacher said you could use any book for inspiration, you could do anything you want. And at the time, I was reading Batman Nightfall, which is like a compilation of a bunch of different Batman comics, mainly following the Bane storyline when Bane was first introduced. I was reading the first volume at that point, and I really inspired by it. So when he told us that we could make a book cover of anything we want, I decided to go with Batman Nightfall, my own interpretation of it. So this was made using the same process as that. It was printmaking, used a sheet of plexiglass, etched the entire drawing into the glass with a needle, and then plastered it in ink, put it on a piece of paper, and this is what came out of it. And then this is mostly untouched. This is mostly the original print that came right out of the press. I didn't really do much else with it, other than I used some watercolors to fill in Batman's cape and cowl, and then I used a little bit of red watercolor to fill in Bane's eyes. So that's one of my favorite pieces I've ever done. Now over here we have my desk, aka my BGN workstation. I guess we'll start over here. Right here, as you can see, I have a wireless mouse, a Zero Borderlands mouse pad, which I got from Loot Crate, and my headphones. Why is this here? Because this is here. This is the laptop that I use to edit all BGN videos on. I used to use my personal laptop, but then I realized that was kind of wearing it down a little bit more than I wanted it to. So Bones gave me her old studio laptop that I could use to start editing BGN on. So I moved everything over to this laptop, and I installed all my programs on it. As you can see, I am rendering a video right now. So that's going on. And yeah, this is where I edit all the BGN videos that I've ever done. Right here we have my computer chair with a bunch of fucking jackets on it. I have my leather jacket and then a winter jacket on top of that. Below that we have a Sonic the Hedgehog blanket, which is really cool. Over on this side, on the lower level, we have the hard drive, which is actually Bones' personal hard drive, but I use it to transfer footage and audio from my personal laptop over to the editing laptop so I can actually edit it. A mouse there, pens, some iPod cables, a keyboard, some notebooks. And then we actually get to the main desk where a lot of cool shit is. If you guys can see in that corner, you can see my guitar, which I've had since high school. I took a guitar class in high school and I was really interested in it. I actually got quite good before I lost interest in it. I don't play anymore, which is why it's buried behind the desk. Also, you can see our old microphone back there that we used to use before we got the Blue Yeti. And then on the actual desk itself, that's a wireless router to wirelessly connect to the internet. My DS Lite with a seashell on top of it. A couple pop vinyls, as you can see. I have the Dark Knight Batman pop vinyl as well as the Piccolo pop vinyl. On top of that, we have a box for the Yarn Yoshi amiibo, which Bones got. I decided to keep the box for display purposes. Right here we have a Venom iPhone case and the Origami from Heavy Rain, which are both in front of this monitor, which is the monitor for this computer. This is our old desktop computer that we've had since like 2007 or 8. I inherited it when I moved into this room, so it's in my room now. I barely use it, but it's nice to have it around. Also in front of the monitor we have an Optimus Prime iPhone case, a little Bart Simpson figure, and a Spider-Man iPhone case. And then on this side, on the right side, we have a random freaking button there. We have my 3DS XL, which is the Smash Bros. Limited Blue Edition. Love that thing. And a couple more pop vinyls. Here we have Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy and a Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. And then on top of the Optimus Prime, we have the box for the Shovel Knight amiibo, which you guys saw in our gaming room tour. All of our amiibos are out on that bookshelf. Then, back here, we have a little journal. This is actually the journal that came with the Far Cry 4 Limited Edition. I use it every now and then when we're recording to jot down notes for, you know, post-production editing that I want to do, some potential titles for episodes, timestamps and all that, and I dubbed it the Let's Play Journal. And then back here we have my pride and joy, the Blue Yeti microphone, which I got this past year, back in February, and it's a beast. I love it. I love it so much better than the old mic we used to use. Back here you can see we have this like pencil holder that's a snowman. I made that back in grade 4 out of like a tin can and some fucking fabrics, and it just holds a bunch of shit like rulers, paintbrushes, highlighters, pens, pencils, a giant lollipop that I got from a friend one time. It just holds a bunch of shit. And then also back here we have a pair of Sony wireless headphones that I use from time to time. Down below we have an amp here, which I used to use for my guitar. We got some shoe boxes because I got some shoes that I didn't know where else to keep. Down here we have a case for CDs, which I use to hold the custom CDs I've made. Below that is another shoe box where I keep dress shoes. And a portion of the box from the Far Cry 4 Limited Edition. Also down here we have a tablet, an Asus tablet that is actually Bones' tablet, but I use it from time to time if I ever want to read manga, because I have a bunch of manga loaded on that. So I use that to read. And then over here, I'm gonna pull these out and bring them over into the light. These I got when I went to New York. These are actually some art pieces that I picked up at a street vendor. This one is like a production image from Batman Arkham City with Batman holding up the Joker. And then over here is a really cool piece of Deadpool. I have yet to frame these and hang them up, but I will soon. And then, if we look above the desk, we can see this beautiful, beautiful Spider-Man poster that I also got when I went to New York. It's really freaking cool. It's one of the coolest things I have in my room. I love it, and that's why I decided to frame it and hang it above the desk, because it pretty much is the centerpiece of my room, other than the set of Dragon Balls. And then I guess the last thing to show you guys in this room tour is my bookshelf, where I keep a lot of my video games, DVDs, books, boxes, vinyl records that I got from my grandmother, you know, an assortment of things. So let's go through this from the top. Up top, you can see over here, we have a giant figure of Gomez from the game Fez, one of my favorite indie games. I actually made that again in my senior year of high school. I made that in my media arts class for an installation art piece. So I made that completely out of cardboard. I made each individual piece out of cardboard, taped it all together with painter's tape, and then painted all the details on afterwards. It's really cool. I'm really proud of it. Also on the top you can see we have 3 Mario caps. We have Mario, Luigi, and Fire Mario. And then behind it, you can see we have the box from the Halo 4 Limited Edition. On this first shelf is where I keep all of the video games that I keep in my room. But first off, we have this amusing birthday card. I just turned 21 this year. This is the card that my mother gave me, so I decided to put it up here. Right here, as you can see, we have the bigger, blacker box for Cards Against Humanity. We actually have most of the Cards Against Humanity expansions, and this is where we keep all of them. Moving that box out of the way, you can see we have a lot of video games back here. We have our NES games, which we didn't have a whole lot of growing up, as well as our Super Nintendo games. We didn't have a whole lot of these growing up, mainly because we were born in the N64 era, which is why you see so many N64 cartridges. This is our complete N64 collection. You know, it's got things like Paper Mario. Over here we have Pokemon Stadium. We got Super Mario 64 back here. we have a lot of quintessential Mario N64 games. Over here, we have the box for the main game of Cards Against Humanity, which I used to house all of the blank cards, which we haven't used yet. What is below it is actually the pirate flag that came with the Assassin's Creed 4 limited edition. We used to have it hanging up in our old game room, which was downstairs, but when we moved the game room upstairs, we didn't really have a place to hang it, so we just kept it here on the shelf. Right here we have a bunch of different games. We have PS1 games here like Crash, NASCAR. These jewel cases are Spyro the Dragon games. And here we have all of our DS and 3DS games, or at least all of my DS and 3DS games. I got a DS and then I didn't really get many games for it. I wasn't really an original DS kid, so I didn't really get many games, but the games I got here, Mario Kart DS, got games like Sonic Rush, Star Fox, Mario 64 DS, things like that. I was much more into the 3DS, and it's one of my favorite handheld systems. It's currently my favorite handheld system just because I've spent a lot more time with this than I have any other handheld system. So I got games like Animal Crossing, New Super Mario Bros., Paper Mario, Pokemon, 3D Land, Smash Bros., Majora's Mask 3D. A lot of good games for the system. And then right here we have a random PS2 copy of Sonic Heroes, which I keep in here because I just recently replaced it with a GameCube version. Anyone who's played Sonic Heroes knows that the PS2 version is the shittiest version. It's got horrible frame rate, slowdown up the wazoo, a bunch of glitches, it controls like ass. But this is the version of Sonic Heroes I grew up with as a kid. I just recently replaced it with the GameCube version, the much superior version. The much more superior version of the game, the best version of the game, and I have yet to trade this in, so I just keep it here. On this second shelf, we got a couple of things. We got some game cases. I got the box from Mario Maker, as well as the lithographic cover of The Evil Within, which I ironically don't have anymore. I have a snow globe here from Washington, and a little rock concert figure that my mom gave me. It's kind of weird. And then a random highlighter. And then back here, I got my whole DVD collection. I got things ranging from Futurama back there, to I got the whole Blood Gulch Chronicles box set of Red vs. Blue, the entire series of Ren and Stimpy, which I wish they would release on Blu-ray, but it's probably not going to happen. I got a lot of Simpsons seasons. I have seasons 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm just missing 5, which is my favorite season. The Simpsons movie, a bunch of individual SpongeBob DVDs, the movies back there, as well as a couple box sets of South Park. This third shelf is where I keep most of my books. I have a lot of books that I used to read when I was a kid. Books like Walter the Farting Dog. I have a bunch of Scooby-Doo and You Solve the Mystery books, a couple of SpongeBob story books. There's a lot of books that I used to read as a kid, I still have, and they're on this shelf. I also have a couple of textbooks from university. I am going into my 4th year of university. These are just textbooks that I haven't gotten around to selling or that no one will buy. Psychology, a writing book for an English class I had to take, a couple of media books because I am in a media and film program. I have a yearbook here from one of my years in high school, as well as my sketchbook that I used to do in high school. And the rest of the books in here are comic books. As you can see, as I was talking about earlier, Batman Nightfall Volume 1, right there. I got some other comic books. I got some Simpsons comics in there. I've got some Ren and Stimpy comics. Just a bunch of comic books. A bunch of assorted comic books that I've gotten when I was a kid. Over on this side, we got a couple boxes. Here's the box for my Blue Yeti microphone, the box for my Elgato Game Capture HD, and the box for my Smash Bros. 3DS. This fourth shelf is just a bunch of random assorted stuff. I have a Christmas hat up there. I've got some random folders in case I need them. I have a SpongeBob watch in its metal case from Burger King. That was in Burger King Kids Meals. I have a Loot Crate. I have a couple Simpsons board games. There's some posters under here that I haven't hung up yet, as well as a prop pirate sword and a Thor helmet. I have the box for my DS Lite right here, some more folders in case I need them, some blank PS3 cases, a portable DVD player, a bag that I use to carry stuff around, this Simpsons picture frame that I got from one of the comics. This is just the assorted shelf where I just put shit that I don't know where else to put. And then on this bottom shelf, we got a bunch of stuff. We've got some VHS tapes that Bones and I had when we were kids, some SpongeBob stuff, some Scooby-Doo stuff, and Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. A bunch of random assorted cables for these bad boys right here. Let's cover the controllers first. Let's see, right here I have a Super Nintendo controller. I have a couple of N64 controllers, one gray and one purple. This right here is the orange Mad Catz Turbo third-party GameCube controller, which we don't use anymore because of that, but I still have it. And then right there is the N64 that we had when we were kids that still works. We were just playing it a few weeks ago, and it's still kicking. And below that is our original Nintendo Entertainment System that we had when we were kids. I don't have the Super Nintendo up here, that's actually downstairs. And then over on the left side, we have a bunch of vinyl records. When we were moving out of our old house, we were rummaging through the closet in my old room back at that old house, and in the corner my mom found a bunch of, this pile actually, of vinyl records that she said some of them were hers, some of them were my grandmother's, some of them were my grandfather's. So I inherited these. So this is technically my vinyl collection now that I keep in my room. There's a lot of good stuff in here. There's some Rush in here, some Aerosmith, a couple of Led Zeppelin records. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. And I really am grateful for the fact that I actually inherited this, because this is actually really cool. And then from the shelf, we're back at the door, which completes the room tour. But yeah, that's about it, guys. That's all I have to show you for this room tour. I'm actually really proud of how this room has come along over the years. It's just got a lot of cool nerdy memorabilia. It's got a lot of cool collector's items. It's just got a lot of cool shit that I'm really proud to have. So with that said, that's all I have to show. I'm gonna wrap up this room tour video. I hope you guys enjoyed this updated room tour for 2016. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the 4th anniversary celebration content that has been uploaded over the last week. With that said, I'm going to wrap things up here, so thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more, you can subscribe to BGN on YouTube for Let's Plays, podcasts, reviews, live streams, unboxings, special vlog type videos like this, etc. We do a lot of good gaming shit here, so I would really appreciate if you guys subscribed if you aren't yet. If you like what you've seen, then you can look forward to this Saturday, where we'll have another special live action video to fully celebrate BGN's 4th anniversary on August 13th. With that said, I'm gonna wrap things up here, so thank you very much for watching. This has been the Bearded One, and I am signing off. Keep on gaming, everyone.